Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to InternationalDynastyRadio.com. This is Adam Broker, the producer, welcoming you all to a very lovely day here in sunny Southern California. But on the East Coast, we have some very special people calling in from all over the country for a special show with the one and only Jackie Coble. Jackie, how are you today?
Doing pretty good. How is everybody? I guess I should just start out by saying that I'm a huge Whitney fan, and actually today is Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation 25th anniversary. So I was busy with some Janet stuff earlier. But I got to shout out Sharon in Australia. She runs Whitney Houston Collectibles. Anything Whitney, she has it. She needs to build a new house. Recently, a few of us worked on the school drive. There's also a Facebook page. We, the fans, support the Whitney E. Houston Academy. And we're also working right now on trying to get Whitney on the ballot to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which has been it's difficult to do, harder than people really think, because in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it seems like more men get inducted than the women do. There's really only been a handful of women. And we've been working on trying to get Janet inducted for 5 years now. So we're hoping and praying she gets on the ballot in a couple weeks, too. But along with Tara and a few other of us dedicated fans, we're trying to get Whitney in her rightful place, because that is one of the highest honors somebody can receive. And, of course, we got Whitney's live album out now, and it did really well on Amazon's music chart. It was, within the first 24 hours, it was sitting at number 26, and that was just in pre-orders alone. So imagine what it's going to do when it drops in November. Hopefully she'll have a number one in that first week that it drops. We were a little let down on the tracks. Maybe we don't quite understand how it works with the estate, what they own.
Yeah.
Some of the live stuff was stuff that we listen to all the time. I guess for the average fan, it's a good compilation, but Whitney has so many powerful, rare performances out there. Brazil, Brunei. I really would have loved to see her and Sissy live in Washington. I know him so well. That one would have been awesome to put on there as a gospel track. There were no gospel tracks on it, and we were kind of let down about that. But hey, if you want to bring somebody else on that's on the line that might have something they want to add or say.
Yes.
Adam?
Am I on?
Is there anybody else here that would like to speak?
Am I here? Am I on?
Yes.
Okay, because there's like a big delay. I couldn't hear anybody. Well, this is Tara, first and foremost, and of course, I'm a big Whitney Houston fan. We run 2 pages, induct Whitney Houston to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Whitney Houston, the Legacy. There are 2 separate pages, and I agree. Whitney, we want Whitney inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It is the highest honor that an artist can receive, honestly. And it would be so, it would just be, as fans, it would be great to see her there. as Jackie was saying with Janet, Whitney, I don't think there are too many black female artists into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And you have artists that I respect, like Aretha Franklin and, Madonna to some extent, as far as respect goes. They were inducted the first year they were eligible.
Yes. Are you there? Hello?
I'm on the radio?
Yeah?
Yeah, everybody is live.
Okay, great. Well, I just want to let people, Whitney had a huge impact on pop music, point blank and period. And I think a lot of times, since her death, it's kind of like, I don't think her estate has done enough to, show people that she was this global superstar. Even though everybody already knows, the diehard fans, we know this, but I don't think they have been handling her on a global scale. You see what I'm saying? Everything has been pretty much, like another fan said, like mostly on the gospel sector type of level. Whitney was so much more than gospel. She was a world icon. She is a world icon. She is a world legend, and she has broken down so many barriers and opened so many doors. And I just want her legacy to be held up in that highest regard. You see what I'm saying? And I don't think that's happening. And I don't think they listen to the fans. They don't interact with us. They don't listen to what we say, the ideas that we want to give to them. We are in the age of social media. I think her team needs to take advantage of social media. Whitney needs an official Twitter account. She needs, she has a Facebook, but, I just think they need to take advantage of all opportunities out there and to promote this album. I have not seen, since Clive announced the album, I have not seen one news station announce Whitney's album. Had that been Michael Jackson, it would have been all over CNN. You know what I'm saying? Whitney is on that level, and that's what people need to know. She is on that level. Michael Jackson is the biggest pop star in the world, of course, but a lot of people don't know Whitney had one of the biggest eras in music in 1992 to 1994, behind Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I'm saying? She needs to be held to that regard in, her post-life right now, and I don't think that's happening.
No, see, like with the Michael Jackson, like I've stated before, they update. His family works along with his state. They work with the fans all the time. There's always an update on Michael.
I have a special treat for you. I'd like to welcome on here Nicollette Drinkard Emerson. Nikki, are you there?
I certainly am. How are you guys?
Hello.
Hey, Nicollette.
Ladies, here is Whitney Houston's first cousin, Mrs. Nicollette Drinkard Emerson. The chairman.
How are you?
Hi, ladies. Hi, especially to Jackie. I wanted to welcome you to International Dynasty Radio, and just to tell you how honored I am to have you. I know how loyal you are as a Whitney Houston fan and other artists, and you just do a lot of really good work. And I just wanted to call and give you a shout-out today.
Well, thank you, Nicollette. Sometimes some people take me the wrong way as like being harsh or being crucial, maybe towards the family, and that's not at all how I try to come off.
Well, we all sometimes wear our emotions on our sleeves.
Everybody, with all my heart, I truly do.
It's a little hard if you read something on Facebook and you take it too literally. And so, I'm not like that. I've got broad shoulders, not really, but I can brush things off. I grew up in the family, and we've seen not everybody's going to agree with what you say or what you do. And there's a wonderful thing about the freedom of the speech, which is what you're experiencing tonight. And so you say what you say, and the fans can speak out what they want to speak to. Whitney is and always will be a fantastic talent and a wonderful artist. And you just don't, there's a reason why they called her the voice. So, we as her family members are very proud of that, and we're proud of the fact that she has such passionate fans that want to keep her legacy and everything alive. So I can't tell you how happy I am for that. And, the good comes with the bad. Not everything was great. We know that. And as the family, all we can do is, you guys, when you talk about, we haven't seen this promotion, we haven't seen anyone do that, behind the scenes, we don't know every little detail. I personally don't know every little detail about what's happening, but I can tell you this. There's only a few people that have privy to that information, but it would be almost stupid not to want to promote it, and it's right around the holidays and everything like that. So give it a little bit of time. They'll get their guns rolling, and you'll see everything you need to see. I really, really firmly believe that. Because they won't miss an opportunity like this, okay?
I just want to say that up front. But I understand the concerns about maybe the music selection. I'm not really sure how that all happened, but if anyone has a question, I'll be certainly happy to try to answer it. I do have a question because I don't know what they're going to do with promotion, but the last project we received 2 years ago was the tribute to an icon book. They didn't do very good with promotion of that book at all. I mean, you had these beautiful pictures of Whitney, and I'm not sure how it did, like on the sales wise, but I had read a couple of comments from other fans, I guess, that keep up with that kind of stuff, and said that the book didn't sell like it should have, basically, because there was a lack of promotion with that book. I just feel like if they're going to put, especially with this project, this can be big. This is huge. Right. The fact that Whitney never even had like an official live album before DVD, this is big. So they need to go big.
I totally agree, and this is like marketing 101, like I was saying earlier to someone else when I was speaking. It's one of those things with supply and demand. If your audience is asking for it, you give it to them, and then you give it to them of the best quality way. And I think they have all intentions of doing that. It's just that we don't know as far as the advice that they're giving, and like I said, who the team is or anything like that. But you can only go by what's put out there and the steps in which they're taking to try to make it the first word on everybody's lips. And I'm anticipating and I'm hopeful that it will hurry up and get to that point. It's something that actually should have happened already before the announcement. So, I'm just as anxious as everyone else. The family's probably, all waiting, and we're sitting back and we're letting people who are the professionals doing their work. And we're hoping for the best at this point. I can only speak from my perspective. I don't live in Jersey. I haven't lived in Jersey for a while, but, of course, I'm still, the first cousin, and my dad, and Aunt Sissy, and my Aunt Lee, which is Dion's mom, they're brother and sister. So, of course, I grew up, I lived with my Aunt Sissy. I knew everything about not only what was happening in the music business, but as the whole legacy, everything was happening, growing up with Whitney, watching everything she was doing and everything that we did together. So it's a subject that's near and dear to all of our hearts. And sometimes it's hurtful to see what it was and what it is now. So it's hard, and I have to tell you that. But as far as having an answer for it, I can only be hopeful, just like you guys are.
Yeah, we would love to see nothing more than to see this album drop, or the album and DVD drop, and her get like a #1 within that first week.
Exactly, because
for her to be at 26 on the Amazon charts in just pre-orders alone.
Yes.
That's
just off her name, and that's just off her name. And if she do get the #1 the week of the release, she will become the first Black artist to have a album in 3 or more decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, she will.
That's correct.
Yeah, and that would be quite a feat. And it's because of fans like you guys, like I said, that are keeping that spirit and everything alive. Not that we have an emotional attachment to it as family members. You guys have an emotional attachment to it and the loyalty as fans. So I guess I'm just going to sit back and listen. If you guys want to hear from me, I'm here. I'll call back in from time to time. But I really just wanted to shout out to Jackie. And, again, always feel that you can call and talk to me. I'll be as honest as I possibly can. It's no holds barred with me. I don't have any secrets or anything to hide, so you can always ask me. The one thing I can say before I go is that as far as who made the decision and what songs or anything, there's a lot that goes into that. Some artists, they did the writing and they did the producing and they owned some of their, catalogs, and that may have not been the case with Whitney. I mean, she sang everything, of course, but as far as, the writing or the lyrics or anything like that or the music, because you have producers, you have the record companies, you have the writers, and everyone kind of gets their take of it first, and then it trickles down to what they call mechanical royalties and performance royalties and the estate and the executive of the estate. So it's a little bit of a process, so, engulfed in all that. So I don't know if that has something to do with what songs were chosen based on maybe what the ownership was. So, that's a little bit of an explanation of how it all works and how it breaks down. But Whitney actually she sang all her songs, but she didn't have ownership or she didn't write all the songs, so she would not get any of that royalty. So, of course, the estate wouldn't benefit from any of those.
Well, that could be a problem, though, for future projects, right? Because that means that if let's say it's that she doesn't really own a lot of the concert material, then how does that affect, future projects? You know what I'm saying? Will whoever own it,
Right. Understandable. But, without being a lawyer, I'm just speaking just as a person that has general knowledge and a family member. However, with that, that just could be something that's written within the contract or something else, for, the estate or for the family members or anyone like that. But, in general, I don't have knowledge of something like that because that's something for an entertainment lawyer to actually answer. Like I said, I'm just going over general knowledge. I'm sure that, we've got all the proper legal teams and everything put into place to look out for the best interests of my aunt and Bobby Christina and the family and things like that. So if any future project that's going forward, believe me, I'm sure will be looked over with a fine-tooth comb, and then the best and hopefully the most quality project will be put together for the fans to enjoy.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, because, my Aunt Cissy is a very sweet and talented and wonderful person, and, through all the pain and everything that she suffered, everybody has to understand that she's still going through that pain, but at the same time, she gets to enjoy the loyalty and everything of the fans. And sometimes it's hard when you read all the negative stuff, but for overall, everyone has showed her a lot of respect and a lot of loyalty and a lot of love, and she's been in the business a long time, and so she deserves every bit of that. So
that is wonderful.
Yes. So I'm going to let you guys continue with the show. I don't want to take it all up. I'm sorry?
I think we have a new one here. Bridget, are you there,
Okay.
Bridget? I just brought somebody on from the 267 area code. Who did I just bring on here? Bridget, are you there? Oh. Okay. Anyway, keep talking, ladies.
All righty
Can
there.
anyone hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Y'all can hear me talk?
Yes, I hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Sharonda Harris in Detroit, and I've been a fan since 1983. And I have a question. I would like to know, how can we get Pat for her estate?
Yes. Thank you, Sharonda.
You're welcome.
Oh, wow.
The fans want her out. I'm sorry. We have to be honest here. We don't want her over the estate.
No, we had one calendar, and the calendar that we had didn't have none of her album release date. It didn't even have her birth date on it.
What's a fan? We want projects. We want more Whitney.
We want
search. And they're just not giving it to us.
Nope, nothing.
Nothing.
We really want Pat's name off of her estate because she's not doing anything.
When you have, Sharonda, I'm glad you really brought that point up because, we are free to say what we want to say, right? Because I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to
She made the
get myself in any trouble.
Okay?
Huh?
She made the reality show. And
Thank
she
you.
really made Chrissy look bad, and she made Whitney look bad.
Yeah, she did.
I mean,
right after Whitney passed away, we seen Pat everywhere. The first 6 months, she was everywhere on the radio, TV, everywhere. Now she's like missing in action.
Yeah,
we never hear from the estate.
Yeah, it's like for a long periods of time, we would go without hearing anything. I mean, I'm talking about long periods of time. The last time we actually heard something before this information drop was when Clive made the announcement back at the pre-Grammy party this year, and back in February. So that was what, 7 months ago?
Yep.
Like, you know. So we're just. I mean, I don't want to make it look like we're being selfish or anything like that. We just want to make sure that Whitney is being represented to the highest regard, the way she deserves to be represented. She was a queen. You know, she is a queen. I hate to keep using that word was and past tense with Whitney, but sometimes it's hard for me to decipher that she's gone. You know, I still talk about her in the present tense like she's still here. But, you know, she just deserves so much better.
Yes, because I don't want to see 10 years from now, it's just, you know, her song may pop up on the radio. I mean, because Elvis been gone for how many years? And he
Look at Elvis
in circulation.
Look at Michael. James Brown.
Luther Vandross, all of them.
Yeah.
Their estates are tip top.
I want to bring up something that was shared with me by Whitney Houston Collectibles fan page. I don't know if she wants me to say her name, so I'm not going to say her name. She had basically sent me some information that another fan thought probably might be, you know, what's happening, what's going on. Basically, pretty much that the estate is releasing Nicollette, is that your name? Like, she was saying that Whitney had she didn't own a lot of her stuff, or the estate is just releasing what they can milk the money out of. And basically, when they run out of milking what they can milk out of the estate, out of Whitney, or not Whitney, or the estate, then that's when they probably will sell the estate or something like that. And I have to go back and reread that comment. I don't have it in front of me. But it kind of made sense to me. But there are other fans who are worrying, being that so much of South Africa and Welcome Home Heroes is in this package, that they feel that this is probably all that Whitney probably really owned the publishing, or somewhat of the publishing too. And so how does that affect, you know, future projects? You know, we know that Whitney didn't own
ABC. I'm sorry, Tyra, to cut you off, but
no,
Whitney had
go ahead.
This Is My Life. Remember that This Is My Life that aired on Channel 7?
Yes.
I'm quite sure that was her project. They can release that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Anything
because
that she owned.
That on YouTube, it's
Jackie, are you there?
Pieces, and then the copy that I have is on a VHS, and you know how those get over the years. So that's something that can be released on DVD.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, ladies, I'm sorry, I need to cut in here for a second here. Jackie.
Okay.
We get some requests over here on from some of our social media feeds. They want to hear more about you, and they want to hear more about the projects that they want to hear some more about the projects that you're working on.
Okay. One of our biggest ones right now is the school. We had went there 2 Mondays ago. There was like 10 fans that donated towards it, and myself, Rodney, and Jada, we went and delivered all of the stuff. But we sat in the principal's office with the principal. We discussed some future projects we could help do. it just so happened that the phys ed teacher was outside his door, and he pulled him in, kind of caught him off guard, but he was asking him what he planned to do for field day this year. And he is a guy who is with the Air National Guard, and he is active duty, so sometimes he has to leave. But he said this year he wanted to do something a little different as far as like the field day went, where he would bring the Army National Guard, the Air Force, the Marines, bring all of our armed services in to do a field day with the kids where they basically do the exercises like that they do in basic training or whatever, or who can ever do the most things the fastest. And they would get a coin like that the service gives their members when they complete certain levels of their basic training. And they want to give these coins to each one of the kids. And he was like, that would be something that the fans could help with as far as cost-wise, because the coins are about $3 a piece, and there's roughly 428 kids. So, of course, we were down for that. He had also mentioned that he had asked the mayor of Newark for like a 1.6% increase so that the school could take care of some landscaping, replacing some trees because they lost so many trees because of the heavy winters. And basically the school grounds need so much work. And he had mentioned about, would you be interested in planting some trees in Whitney's honor, which Rodney himself had made a donation towards when we left. So there's going to be some trees planted in her honor, and hopefully we could get some plaques made to put by the trees. In the spring, we would like to get a crew of fans together to go and weed flower beds, mulch, that kind of stuff, and just clean up the school grounds and make it look how it used to before. Mm-hmm. Whatever we can do to help the school, because the kids were so important to Whitney. They truly were.
Yes, they were. They were. Just look at the love they, just looking through the pictures and the video footage, those kids loved her and she loved them.
Yes.
She loved that school.
Yes. And talked about the field trips that she would do with the kids, whether she sent them all to the Bronx Zoo or she would come in and go class to class and sing with them, or sometimes she would hold one big assembly. But after her passing, the obituary said in lieu of donations to donate to the Whitney Houston Academy of Creative and Performing Arts. Well, Sony Music gave a donation of $25,000, and Jay-Z and Beyonce gave a donation of $10,000. Mm-hmm. But he was also telling us while we were there that when that money comes in and those checks are written to the Whitney E. Houston Academy like that there's a lot of red tape that they have to go through to get those funds and use those funds for certain things they want. That it goes actually through the education department and the school district to determine where those funds go. So he suggested that we write our checks to the Whitney E. Houston Academy PTO. That way, if the checks go to the PTO, the PTO can see to it that they get exactly what is needed. So that's what we're starting to ask a lot of the fans to do. If you make a donation, make your check out to the PTO.
Mm-hmm.
And that way we know that the money is going to stay within that actual school, and they're going to get what they need.
Okay. I have a question about that, Jackie. Do you know if when Sony or Jay-Z and Beyonce made their donation that it went to the school board? Did the Whitney Houston Academy even get that money, or do you know?
He didn't say exactly. He just said that there was a lot of red tape they had to go through when they they got $40,000 total in donations after her passing. And there was a lot of red tape they had to go through.
We have another surprise here for you.
Okay.
Everybody, I want to introduce you all to Romaine Emerson, who is Nikki's husband and one of my dear friends, and also the chairman of International Dynasty. Romaine.
Hey, Jackie, what's up?
I know you want to talk here.
How you doing, Jackie?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Y'all touched a good point in my life when y'all talking about the school. I can give you a little information that we kind of researched, that we're planning on doing a lot of things for the school too. We talked to the principal last week, and he did say that Jay-Z and Queen Latifah gave money. Now, we're going to find out more information on that, but I think it goes through the school board. And, so I can give you more insight on your next show about exactly where that money goes and exactly what they need, because that's a thing that we're researching too, because that's a good point. But I call in, and I'm very thankful. Most people probably say, well, why would we give Jackie a show? She has a lot of good things, and sometimes, we don't agree with everything she says, but she has a lot of good things, and she keeps everybody in the information on my cousin. So I'm calling and asking you ladies, I know you're talking about music and everything, but family want to ask y'all some questions too. Is it all right we can answer y'all some questions? And y'all can fire back at us, okay?
Sure.
My first question for all you ladies, when was the first time you became a Whitney Houston fan, and why are you a Whitney Houston fan? So y'all talking.
I'm here, guys.
I really want to know when you became a Whitney Houston fan, and what made you a Whitney Houston fan, because I know y'all some die-hard Whitney Houston fans.
I've told that story so many times.
Tell me why. Let me hear it.
All my life.
Okay, so you say all your life. I heard that one. Okay, all your life.
Well,
okay, so what is your favorite Whitney Houston song then?
There are so many. You give me the love.
Exactly. You can't just choose one.
Okay. Now, see how y'all do? Y'all trying to put us in a corner, and y'all want us to ask a specific question. So I'm asking you, when you're at night and you got all Whitney Houston songs all together, and you want to put that special one on, tell me which one you're going to play.
Why does it hurt so bad?
Okay, you said why does it hurt so bad? So since you're my cousin's best fan, let me hear you sing it. Come on. Let me hear you sing it. Come on. Live on radio. Let me hear it.
Are you putting us on the spot
I'm
to
not
sing?
going there.
No, thank you.
I can't do Whitney. I can't. She's just too much.
Definitely can't. Give us some Ashanti or some Beyonce. We can sing that.
We can't sing Whitney. We don't have to pay no royalties. we can sing some easy artists. Just sign us up to do some royalties. Be okay. But I really want to know if I can pass on to my family. Y'all doing wonderful things that we're hearing about now. Yeah, y'all plant flowers. Y'all help y'all diehard fans. Y'all want that right music and everything and stuff like that. Y'all want the school to do right, and we love that for you. We want that. But let me tell you from the in-laws about the Drinkard family. I got married into it. I'm Smokey Robinson's nephew, so I kind of got into it. It's a lot of things you don't know about our family. We kind of got combined together. I met my wife, so let me tell you a little bit of story, how I got to it. Now, being a drinker, to marry a drinker is very hard. I'm telling you what, it's difficult and it's hard. I would not advise you to marry a drinker. but I've been married for 38 years. Okay? So my whole thing about it, they're wonderful people. My Aunt Sissy is not a better person in the world as her. And Dion, she actually sent my wife to college. And there's a lot of things that we start in these shows that we want to tell people. We read these negative things, and it touches us. Just imagine if your family it was famous, and you read all these comments. You got to have a thick skin. But we started the show because we wanted Jackie to say it like it is. Say how you feel. Say exactly what you feel.
Amen.
So I'm asking you ladies today, since you're on the radio, if you want to shout out. But tell me, how did you become a Whitney Houston fan? Because, it got to be in your soul that you do everything like this. I don't even got that much in soul y'all do for it. You know what I mean? So tell me, why? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want us to do? I mean, let's talk. We can always sit back and say what the record company do.
We want to know, are there a lot of, or if there are any unreleased music of Whitney Houston?
Right. That's my question.
We don't know this. We want to know. Exactly. It's been rumored for years.
Exactly.
Okay, so you want to know. Your first question is that Arista Records and their record company has, like when most famous stars pass away, they break up all archives, they break out different music. That's your person. That's the first you want. Okay, I tell you what, give us that information, and we will give you what they would tell us about it. But it's up to the record label to find out exactly what they want to bring out. And it's just a business. When I talk to my family about that, it says it's a business. Long as they make money for my cousin Bobby Christina, they can do what they want. As long as they go into her, I'm fine with it. I might not like the order of the songs or what you're playing, but as long as it goes to my cousin, I'm fine with it. You know what I mean? And that's the point that most of our family feels about. But I actually want to know exactly how do you, diehard fans, what do you want to do for Whitney's fans? What do you want to accomplish? And how you became fans. So I'm leaving the floor up to you. So that's what I want to hear. And I'm going to get off the phone. I just had to call in. But I definitely want y'all to talk about things you want. Okay, and we'll answer every question. But things you want that we can handle as a family. We're not the record company, but things you want us to come out with. Because we have these things that family don't talk. Well, we talking now. Okay. So get a list. Write them down like Santa Claus do when you been out here nice, and we'll definitely try to answer it, And I'm just glad that y'all called in. So I'm going to hang up, and I'm going to listen. And thank you very much for calling. And Jackie, wonderful show, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. You take care.
You too.
Bye.
I remember Whitney from the night that Merv Griffin aired, as a matter of fact, and seen that performance. And I stood in front of the TV in awe.
Mesmerized.
It wasn't until after, though, her album came out that Mom had told me, oh, well, that's Sissy Houston's daughter. And Mom started talking about the Sweet Inspirations and Sissy Houston and so on and so forth. I had no idea who Sissy Houston was. I know that Mom listened to the Sweet Inspirations. That was about it. And I remember the Sweet Inspiration song just from her listening to them. But after Whitney's album dropped, I think I was telling Nicollette, when I seen her the first time was when they shot the video for So Emotional. It was shot here at Indiana University of Pennsylvania at the stadium. And the day that she shot the video, earlier in the day, she was in sweatpants, a T-shirt, and red and white Nike sneakers. And she was going around mingling with the fans. She was laughing. She was so funny. And we had a blast. And then she was getting ready to shoot her video. And we all were out in the crowd watching the video being shot. And it was like nothing I've ever experienced.
Wow,
that is my most vivid memory.
Yes.
My first memory of Whitney.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's a great one. That's a great one.
Amazing. Just like you, Jackie, I first saw Whitney on Merv Griffin's show, 1983. I was a little one back then.
Yep.
And I remember she came out. I was like, oh, my gosh, she is pretty. She's so pretty, And then when she started singing, oh, my God. And my mom, who have a great voice herself, she has a great voice herself. She recognized, great vocalists recognize great vocalists. And she said that girl is going to be a huge star. And like a few years later, look what happened. Yeah. And I've been a fan.
I remember her too, Tara, on the Merv Griffin show when she first came out. And I'm a little older than Whitney, so I mean I have very candid memories of her. And but I actually this is not my first memory of her because I've been watching her for a long time. But I did see her in person at the Central Park in New York when she gave that free concert. I was close enough where I could almost touch her. I was just sitting there. I was just in shock just watching her. And then Bobby Christina came on stage for a few minutes and they sang there a little bit together. But I was just sitting there with my mouth wide open. It was like, oh my God, it's Whitney Houston. It's Whitney Houston. It's really Whitney Houston. I'm that close. I felt like I could just reach out and just touch her. That's how close I was.
Oh my God.
So it was like,
that was Good Morning America, right?
Good Morning America. Good Morning America.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. And she had so much energy, and she just had the whole crowd going crazy.
Oh, that is amazing. I wish I could have been there.
I
could have been there.
Twice. I seen her in 94 and I seen her in 99. But my experience in 99 was she was on stage and she was going to get ready to sing I Will Always Love You. She had a black velvet dress on. She turned to get her water and dab her face. The whole arena was quiet as a church mouse. I mean, quiet. I'm in the balcony screaming, nipples, I love you.
I know, right? Oh, God. I'm getting chills hearing this.
Right? So this lady, she said, she don't like people calling her nippy. So somebody else hollered out, Whitney, I love you. She's like, I love you. So I said, you love me too. So after the concert was over, we go around to the back. I'm like, she's going to come out right here. So security like, move.
Oh
so I'm looking through the gate. And I'm like, Whitney. And she waved. She had a little fur on her neck. She kept her neck covered. That's what she saw. They got in the car, and they sped off like she was the president. My dumb butt is still running behind the car going, Nippy. My sister like, they gonna hit you. I said, did you come see me in the hospital?
Oh, my God. That beautiful trademark
and I'm
smile.
quite sure she remembered that moment.
Oh, my
goodness. I know she had to remember that. I was
Whitney,
running behind her car screaming.
She just had like this. She had like an electrifying presence. I mean, she didn't even have to sing. She just walked in a room.
Oh my God!
And literally, I remember a couple of years ago. I think Whitney was still living. There's a comedian. I forget her name. But she was on Twitter and she tweeted. She was like, "Oh my God, I just saw Whitney Houston," and she was like, "Your career or something like that, or life isn't complete until you walk into the room with greatness." I mean, she was like captivated by seeing Whitney.
Yeah. She had that.
I can't remember her name. I think it was Kim something.
Kim Cole?
I don't know.
Kim Cole?
Not Kim Cole. I know her and Whitney. I've seen them in pictures together.
Right.
But she's another I can't think of her name. It's Kim.
Willie?
I can't think of her. Yes, it was her. I think it was her.
What was the name? Who was it?
It was Kim Whitley.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, I know who she is. Wow.
Yes. And not just her. A lot of people said the same thing about Whitney. So
unbelievable.
It's like, her presence is there. Because when I seen her in 94, my kid's dad took me, and he like, she not here. I'm like, yes, she is, because her lavender tour bus is outside. He's like, how you know? I'm like, don't worry about that. So but when you got in there, you just felt like the spirit of her was there. And then the stage went lavender, and she started singing from backstage, and my whole body just shook.
Yeah,
it was like one of those experiences. Like you had to see her in person.
Yeah, you did.
And
really
your
did.
hair, the hair that you think ain't on your body stands up.
Exactly.
She definitely had that type of presence. She was an amazing woman. I swear. I've never, ever seen anyone else like her. There isn't anyone else like her.
And I really I really fell in love with her. How she praised God.
Yeah.
There wasn't many.
One of the things I would like to see in the future
gospel music.
is is an album or a DVD put together of her gospel music.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely.
And one of my
Exactly.
favorite ones was when Gary, Sissy, and Whitney sang Wonderful
Counselor. Yes, I
Oh,
love
they
that
tore
song.
that up
my
at the
God.
American Music Awards. They
Yes.
tore it up.
Yes, they did.
I was just listening to that the other day. That song
Whitney was never ashamed to say she loved the Lord, ever.
Oh, my. Yes, she did.
Yep.
On
TV.
I always
it took my
profess.
heart that moment.
Yeah.
I always profess to any fan page or anything. I always profess, no matter where Whitney was in the world, whether it was on a talk show, on the stage, at an award show, performing, she always showed her love for God. She didn't care what nobody else said.
Yes, she did. She was definitely a
May
woman
I
of
interject,
God.
lady? She just opened up so many different barriers for people in the fashion. Like I told my daughter, I said, these little kids wearing these tutus, Whitney brought the tutus. And how do I know? You know what I'm saying? And the little half skirts, Whitney wore those. The little spiky nails, Whitney had those.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. The body. Wow. May I interject, ladies?
Wow.
Oh,
when everybody talk about, I got a 15-karat diamond, Whitney had one first.
Oh, my God.
Jackie.
There was,
Jackie.
Yes.
May I interject?
Yes.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Going forward, I just really think that if Whitney were here or she could say anything to us, it would be that, just to spread love and joy and peace and just continue what she was all about. That's loving life, loving people.
Right.
Shedding positive light wherever you can. So I think going forward, what we as fans should do is try to become a more unified body. We can all agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
And let's be kind to one another pushing forward. And how we can push forward again is coming together. You don't have to have much. So no one's asking you to spend $5,000, $100,000, $10,000. But I think that if we all come together on one accord, we can do a lot more. For one, definitely at the school, because that was something that she was very passionate about.
Absolutely.
And she saw to every year that those kids had what she needed. She even visited. So I think that that's very important.
Right.
And any way else that we can help. And also, I really think that we need to keep the family in prayer. And I truly have much respect for the family for standing strong, even just throughout Whitney's career. And we also need to thank them for raising up such a wonderful woman who has not just impacted the United States, but the world.
The world.
Yes, she does.
Yes,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
They should all be proud.
And to be an African American woman and to carry herself with such dignity and class.
Yes.
And that's something that we also need to uphold, is that same dignity, that same class, and that same grace, and that same respect. And we also really need to pray for and encourage Bobby Christina.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that is very, very important.
Every night. I pray for her.
To lose your mother at a young age, period, no matter how young you may think it is. 18, she's 18, going on 19. That's very young. And I know when I was 18 or 19, I needed my mother, and I'm pushing 30, and I still need my mother. If my mother dies tonight or tomorrow, I'm promising y'all right now, me and my mother do not always get along, but trust me, Jennifer's going to try to jump in the casket. And not because of guilt, because of the fact that a piece of your security is gone.
Right,
your security blanket is gone. As far as Mom Sissy is concerned, every parent says that their child's supposed to bury them. You're never supposed to bury your child. So I think we also need to keep her in prayer, and everything that we say and do needs to be uplifting towards Whitney and uplifting towards the family, because it is very hard. Right. And even with some of the negative things that have been said about Whitney, everybody has their own trials and tribulations.
Absolutely.
But when you're, put on a pedestal in the spotlight, and you have to live that through the public eye and public scrutiny. I mean, I can understand why the family, in a sense, is, very quiet and very reserved about their feelings, and that's something that we all need to respect and understand.
On a positive note,
Exactly.
I want to read this really quick. Dottie Rambo is a country, Dottie Rambo passed away. But Dottie was a country music artist / gospel artist. Dottie wrote a lot of gospel songs. I Go to the Rock was one of Dottie's songs that Whitney chose to sing on the Preacher's Wife soundtrack. When Whitney passed, Dottie's daughter, Reba, posted this. And she says, I learned of Whitney's sudden death Saturday evening via a text message from a member of Whitney's entourage. The text message stated, Whitney's gone. She said, Whitney's death is a raw wound. It's so hard to even talk about, but I have chosen to think that the life without Whitney's life, and she lived the life. With Whitney's roots in gospel music, it was similar passion that connected Whitney and Dottie Rambo, Rambo McGuire's mother, renowned gospel singer and songwriter Dottie Rambo. My mother didn't listen to a lot of music in her home, really. She just didn't. But you would go in and she would have Whitney playing all the time. She recalled one of her mother's greatest accomplishments, having Whitney record her song I Go to the Rock for the 1996 movie The Preacher's Wife. Of all of the cuts, Mother had Elvis Presley, Dolly Parton, all these different people that have recorded her music. But that cut, I Go to the Rock, really meant so much to my mother because she felt it was so authentic. The track garnered Mom and Whitney a Gospel Music Association Dove Award in 1998. Whitney even performed at the award show in a rare Nashville performance. Despite Whitney's talent, it was the person behind the famous voice Dottie Rambo remembered the most fondly. She said, I remember the one time we were backstage and she grabbed my hands and said, and how are you? And the way she looked at you with those eyes, she looked right through you, and I thought, you really care, Rambo said. Whitney lit up the entire room. Most of the time when she'd see me, she would go, I go to the rock, and that would be her opening. Hey, how are you doing, girl? She would start singing a Christian song or one of Mother's songs or one of my songs, she continued. I hope that Whitney's fans will remember Whitney, as I do, despite her public struggle with substance abuse. She lived and she loved in a huge way, in such a big way, and she will never be forgotten. Whitney,
Never.
we will always love you.
Oh, my
Beautiful,
goodness.
beautiful, Jackie.
Oh, my God. That was powerful.
Beautiful.
That was, yeah.
Yes.
That was powerful.
Wow.
I what is her name again? I never heard of that.
Dottie Rambo.
She wrote that after Whitney died?
Yeah, Dottie passed away 2 years before Whitney did, as a matter of fact, and her daughter wrote that in response.
Oh,
right, okay.
Oh, my
wow.
God.
That was beautiful, beautiful.
I would love to have that in my possession because that is one of the best, probably the best quotes about Whitney that I've heard so far.
Yes.
Wow. And all those words are so true.
Every one of them.
So true. Wow.
That's basically like the meme or whatever you call those things that people post on Facebook. They have one of Whitney saying takes other people's songs and just interpret them
better than they do.
better. Yeah, and she just touched people with the way she sings a song. Every song becomes hers.
Right, exactly. I mean, I hate to be biased, but I just have to say that there's there's nobody out there like her, and there never will be.
No, there will.
She was anointed.
Never will
God
be.
gave
Never
her that.
will
That was
be.
just, yes.
Oh my God. Such a big loss. I'm telling you, it's still hard. I mean, it's been a few years, but it's still hard to believe that she's just not here, especially when you listen to her music.
Very hard to believe.
It's so hard
that
to
believe. It's been almost 3 years.
She was a jewel. She was a jewel, a rare jewel.
Yeah.
It was definitely a gift.
Definitely. My favorite two. My favorite two live.
Ladies, I want to bring somebody else on here. I'm going to bring on Miss Jocelyn Adams here. Jocelyn Adams.
Hi, Jocelyn.
Hi, Jocelyn.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Hello.
How are you?
How you doing, ladies?
Hey, Jocelyn.
Hi. You were talking about the preacher's wife, and my uncle was one of the people that played for Whitney in that movie. And when you started talking about the gospel music and the recordings that was done, it really, really went right through my heart, because that was and that, by the way, was the best-selling gospel album, and I think it still holds that title. The Preacher's Wife was the best-selling gospel album.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
She really did it.
My favorite two live gospel performances of Whitney is definitely I Go to the Rock, Saturday Night Live, 1996, and I Love the Lord, Poland, 1999. Those are my two favorites.
Wow.
Yep.
I love everything. I don't have a favorite. There's just too many. It's like everything. Honestly, I don't have a favorite, because everything is like it just strikes your soul. It's like, my God, it's just amazing.
Yeah. You know what? Felicia sounds so much like Whitney.
I mean, she makes you laugh, she makes you cry.
Ladies, it has been a fabulous discussion. Ladies, it's been a very fabulous discussion. I have to move to our next segment of this show, which is going to be Jive with Sarah Drinkard. That's going to be coming up here in just a few moments. Ladies, I want to invite you to please keep listening in to the show, because this is going to be very exciting. We're going to be talking about International Dynasty. We're going to be talking to some of our artists. And a whole bunch of amazing things we're going to be discussing. I'm going to be coming to Sarah here in just a moment. But as we, I'm going to play a little piece of music by Felicia I think that you all might enjoy. And then I'm going to bring Sarah on. So I'm going to play Felicia singing I Look to You. And I think you all know who Felicia was.
Wow.
Voice number 2.
Yep, I'm gonna play Felicia here, and then I'm gonna bring on Sarah Drinkard, and then I'm gonna be and ladies, I'm looking forward to talking to you on our next the Jackie Coble show. We will put one together for next week, and I invite you all to come back for that, and bring all your memories, and bring all your talking, and tell all your friends about our show, and please tell everybody about InternationalDynastyRadio.com. And ladies, I'm gonna play Felicia here for a few moments, and then Sarah, I'm coming to find you in just a second here.
After all my friends are gone, with you I can try. I'm a fool. I love you. And the melodies are gone. If you are your thoughts,
Well, the time is now 7 o'clock.